So if faith isn't a force to get what we want, then what is it? What's it really doing? Let's get to the great reframe. This is where we can build a much stronger, more resilient understanding of faith. This really lays it out. Faith is not about being 100% certain of an outcome. It's not just positive thinking or optimism. And it's definitely not the absence of emotional doubt. Instead, real, biblical faith is trust. Trust in God's character. It's surrender to His wisdom. And it's a deep dependence on Him, no matter what happens.
And here's a great way to think about the mechanics of this. Think of it like this. Faith is the posture we take when we pray. It's a posture of trust and surrender. But God's sovereignty, His wisdom, and His goodness, that's the cause of the answer. See? Faith doesn't cause the outcome, it just positions us to receive whatever God's good answer is. It's all about alignment, not control.
Okay, this brings us to what is, for sure, the hardest part of this whole journey. How do we live faithfully in the silence? What do we do when the answer we desperately want is no?
You know, we all know Hebrews 11, the great hall of faith. We love to quote the first part, right? All the stories of miraculous deliverance, but we tend to forget the second half of the chapter. Because in the very same breath, the author says that faith also enabled people to endure torture and death. It was the same faith, but with radically different outcomes. The Bible itself holds up endurance, not just deliverance, as a powerful, valid outcome of faith.
And think about the Apostle Paul. He begged God 3 times to remove this thorn in his flesh, and God's answer was no. Why? Well, God said it was to protect Paul from becoming proud. So God didn't give Paul the answer he wanted, which was removal. Instead, He gave him the answer he needed, sustaining grace. Sometimes that no is actually an act of profound mercy.
And this really gets to the ultimate purpose of it all. See, according to the Bible, God's primary goal for us isn't really our immediate comfort. It's our long-term transformation into the image of Christ. And that means that sometimes the very things that cause us so much pain are the exact tools God uses to make us more like His Son. And if that's true, well, that completely reframes what a good answer to prayer really is, doesn't it?
So, this is where we land. This is how we reconcile the paradox. Faith isn't about believing that God will do what you ask. Faith is trusting God when He does what you would not have chosen, yet would have chosen if you only knew what He knows. It's not a blind certainty. It's a profound trust that when He does something different, it's because He's operating from a place of perfect wisdom and love that we can't see from where we're standing. It's about trusting that His no can be just as loving as His yes. And I guess the question that leaves us with is, can we trust a God like that?